Somebody was there. It was more than one person that done this. And somebody knows.
Yeah.
And they set him up on that road to make it look like a hit and run. I was so happy when they reopened the case, and that gave me hope, and he wasn't under the rock anymore. And with all this stuff going on, you know, he gets more attention now. But we really don't want the attention. We just want the answers.
That's Sandy Smith right there, Stephen Smith's mother. Her refusal to give up hope is what's trending in true crime this morning. The body of 19-year-old Stephen Smith was found on the side of a rural road in Hampton County, South Carolina, back in July of 2015. His death was initially thought to be an accident, a hit-and-run situation. But then later, in 2021, after receiving some evidence during the Murdaugh murders investigation, SLED reopened this investigation and said that they believe it's a homicide. Now, on Saturday, Walking with Stephen was held as the teenager's family continues seeking answers surrounding his tragic and unsolved death. Now, despite several new developments over the past few years, nothing has yielded any answers. So this morning, we're wondering, how encouraged is the family this morning, and what comes next in this investigation? We're so pleased to have on the show, friend of the network, the attorney for the Smith family, Eric Bland. Eric, good morning to you. I know you were there. Your beautiful wife, Renee, was there at that run walk. What was it like? Take us there. Let's start there first, please.
It was just a beautiful event. There was really no acrimony, no recrimination. It was just about love and just to make sure that, you know, the fact that Stephen's death hasn't been explained, and we just wanted to make sure that the public was aware of it. Over 125 people showed up. There was about 60 to 70 walkers. They came from as far away as Pennsylvania. The law enforcement presence was incredible from both SLED and the Hampton County Sheriff's Office. Everybody felt safe walking, and they participated all along the way. You know, our focus is just to make sure that the public is aware that this potential crime has not been solved. It was the 10th anniversary of Stephen's death, and we want to make sure that the public knows that there's a $50,000 reward for information leading to what was the cause of Stephen's death. We're encouraged by the fact that SLED has assigned a new officer to Stephen's case, but by the same time, we are slightly getting discouraged because we really believe that people would come forward with information. Based on my discussions with SLED over a year ago, they believed that there was 5 or 6 people that had information regarding Stephen's death. And, you know, I said any fact can lead to a fact. So even if you think you have information, it may not be on point with the day that Stephen died, but was a fact that was something that happened a month before he died. They all can be linked together. And so we just want people to come forward. We will make sure they're protected. There's a hotline to SLED on Crime Stoppers. And, you know, Sandy deserves to find out what happened to her son.
Yes, she sure does, Eric. She sure does. How was she doing on Saturday?
She spoke, and she's a very quiet, introspective individual, but she has grown. As I said when I spoke to the group, she has grown so much during this process. This woman will not stop until she finds out. And it's one thing when you lose your child at an age, such a young age, at 19 years old, but it's a completely another situation when you don't even know what happened to your child when he died. So she carries that double burden, and she will not stop. And my hope is that SLED will be able to find out what happened to Stephen. I mean, it's inconceivable to me, Julie. I mean, that in this day and age of post-crime analysis, that they cannot find out what happened to Stephen. And people need to come forward. You know, evil prevails if good people stay silent.
You're so right, Eric. And I love what you said about how a fact can lead to another fact. I love that. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna give you credit for it when I do. But I love that because it's so true. You may not think you know something that's valuable to solving the case, but it, like you said, it could lead to something else that gets you there through the next fact and the next fact.
Right.
And so I can appreciate, I think a lot of people can, how, you know, there was a lot of reluctance for anybody to speak up a long time ago, but we're in a very different time now. We're 10 years out. We know that information came up that made SLED recharacterize this case from an accidental death to an intentional homicide is essentially
Homicide.
what they're saying. Yeah. And so, but they didn't go any further than that. Eric, did you think that once the Murdaugh murders case was disposed of, that maybe this one would then open up and we would start hearing more information?
I did, and I do. Although I'm finding that I'm not holding that belief as strong as I once did. I really thought that the stranglehold that the Murdaughs had in Hampton County would lessen, and that the cone of silence that they made sure that existed regarding their family members would stop. And I'm not saying there's a connection between the Murdaughs and Stephen Smith. I just felt that once Alex was disposed of, as you said, through the justice system, and we had Russell Lafitte and a whole bunch of others, Corey Fleming, that people would say, okay, this is a new age, it's a new time, and let's just come forward, solve all these unsolved deaths. You know, there were 5 deaths surrounding Alex Murdaugh at one time or another. You know, Stephen, because of he knew his sons. Gloria Satterfield, you had Maggie and Paul and Mallory Beach. I mean, 5 deaths in front of one family is a lot. So we thought that this would be the last cog that, you know, Hampton County could get a clean start. And so really this is the last unsolved death in Hampton County that people are focusing on.
And I'm so glad that they still are. All of our courties are very interested in this case and justice for Stephen Smith. And thank you for coming on and always giving us the updates. And the family is so fortunate to have you, Eric. You're such a tremendous advocate for them. We'll talk again about this case. I promise you, we'll keep talking. Let Sandy know we all send our love. And congratulations again on the success of your book, Eric, as well. Anything But Bland. When we come back, we're going to have much more for you. But as we head to break, I want to just take a moment, to share our love for Stephen Smith. As the questions still linger, we're standing with his family's quest for justice. We are a voice for victims here on this show. You know that, my friends at home. And even after a decade, there need to be answers. There needs to be answers here. We want to remember him. His life mattered. We send our love to his family, and we sure hope that as we continue talking about it here on the program, that those answers will come and this case will eventually be solved. We'll be right back.